Hi and welcome to Polly Puts Colour On. In this video I'm going to be sharing a little flip through of Ghouliana Sanctuary for Monsters by the wonderful Anna Robert, and then I'm going to bring you along as I kind of talk about how I'm going to approach colouring in this book and actually hopefully colouring one of the characters. So I was so excited and so blessed to have won this copy of this book from the wonderful Colour with Claire's channel. I'll link her down below. I've followed her for years. She's absolutely wonderful. And I kind of missed on the video that she did of the review that the copy was going to be signed. So I'm absolutely thrilled and over the moon to have a copy, not just a copy, but a copy that's signed. It's just even more precious. Definitely check her video out. She goes through and she reads the story, because it is a storybook. She reads it all the way through and it's just absolutely amazing. I kind of had it on in the background as I was colouring, kept looking, and when I could tell it had moved to the next page, so I could see what the image was, but it's wonderful, like a proper little audio book. So definitely check that video out if you haven't already. So I'm just going to do like a quick flip through. I've seen this page coloured by somebody on Instagram, and they also have a YouTube channel. I think they used Castle Art pencils, if I'm remembering rightly. I'll link their channel down below as well. Off Sophie something, but off the top of my head, I can't think who it is. But yeah, check down in the description because it'll be linked below. And it's just amazing. All the different colours that they've picked, it's just turned out absolutely amazing. So obviously we've got the book belongs to page, and then it just gets into it. And the paper, it is obviously double-sided, so we won't be able to use alcohol markers, but it's really nice thick paper. So I'm hoping it's going to work quite nicely with different mediums. I'm thinking I'm going to work mainly with Prismacolors, but I might use my Castle Art pencils as well, because I do really like those. But I'm thinking for the characters, so this bit here is kind of got the first main character, Agatha, that is repeated through the book, because she is one of the main characters. So I have worked out some colours for kind of that part of her head, her skin. Haven't worked out anything for the outfit yet, so I don't think I'll be colouring that in today's video. But I kind of read the text here, and it mentions about having flawless skin, piercing blue eyes, and a scarlet bob. So I've picked out colours that I'm hoping will kind of match that description. I say I've not quite decided yet what to do on the outfit, so I'm going to leave that plain at the minute. But my thinking is I'm going to colour Agatha, and I'll do it while you're with me on video. And then I've already got the colours actually all written down in my little notebook. So it's all written down. And I've got the pencils to one side so I can get it coloured. And then I'm thinking I might even keep those pencils just to one side, in a pot or something on my desk. I've got those colours, and then whenever I feel like colouring something and I'm not too sure what to colour, I can go through and I can find her. Like this is her hand there, so obviously I can come up with some colours for her nails, but I've got colours I could use for her skin. So you see that's there's a little bit of text, but that's mainly full picture on there. So there is some pages without any writing, like this one, and again she's there. So again, I could come in, and that'd be quite a quick bit to colour her skin, all of her hair and everything. And then when I work out what I'm going to do for the outfit, obviously I can get on with that. And there is some other characters as well that are repeated. So my thinking is, I can have this as like a full book whip, inspired by coloured by Maya. So I could go through and I could colour Agatha through the book. I could also just pick and choose random bits that I fancy colouring. Like if I fancy just colouring some chains one day, I could just colour that bit and just have this as a whole book whip, and eventually have it all coloured. Obviously it'll take a while. So again, you could see Agatha's there, but it is just her hair. It is obviously a big area to colour, but it is just her hair. So if I've already got the colours, in theory that wouldn't take too long. Then we've got another one of the main characters that's repeated through the book quite a bit, of Otto. So again, I want to work out the colours for that. So I'm thinking that this book might also appear on the channel a few times, if it's something people might be interested in. And every time I get around to working on a new character, maybe I could do a little video of me colouring them in for the first time and sharing the colours that I use for them. If people might find that interesting, might find it useful, then let me know down in the comments below. So again, we've got Nessie here. not Nessie, yeah, Nessie, Loch Ness Monster, and they're in the book a couple of times as well. So there is, obviously these pages have got a lot of writing, not quite so much to colour, but still would take a little while to colour. So yeah, this book is not going to be done anytime soon. I'm not setting myself a target of like doing a page a month, or having it finished by the end of next year or something, because I think even if I only worked exclusively in this book for a whole year, I don't think I'd get it done. This is something I might get done in 10, 20 years time. It'd be very, very long-term progress. So again, we've got another character here that's repeated through the story, and their name is Sylvius. And again, it's got a bit of a description because it's saying about his skin being like marble, pale and smooth. So that'll give me an idea on how to colour that character. And again, they appear on a few pages. So I'm kind of thinking if I chip away at the characters, that'll mean that a lot of pages will have a bit of colour on. See, like if one day I really didn't fancy doing too much, I could just do like the little scroll on that page, and that page would be more or less done then, other than the woodwork that's kind of carried on from there. So there we can see we've got Ghouliana for the first time. Again, she's obviously in it quite a bit, so I could work out colour combinations for her. Here there is a few of the characters that are I think they do appear a few times, because obviously we've got Agatha and we've got Otto and Ghouliana here. A few of them I don't think are on any of the other pages, but that's something I can obviously chip away at and work out as I get through the book. We've got the little dog. He's got a name as well. I'm sure he has a name. No, maybe he doesn't have a name then. Oh no, it does. Poppet. I knew he had a little name. So I could come up with colours for Poppet. And, again, that's another character that could, get coloured all the way through. That's a nice page because it's only got a little bit. And there's no characters on that. So I could just kind of colour that if I fancied colouring one day. Again, that's another bit that, probably isn't going to be repeated on another page, I don't think. So I could just not have to worry about saving my colour combinations for that one. So yeah, there is a lot to colour. I know when I looked on the Amazon reviews, most of them were like really glowing, and then there was one or two that were like, oh, there's it's a storybook and there's not much to colour. And it's like, well, like it says it in the name, it's literally on the front, it says it's a storybook. Like Alan Robert has not hidden that fact that it's a storybook. It's a bit like Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, obviously very different theme, but kind of same premise. But there's still absolutely shed loads to colour. Like, you're more than getting your money's worth from this book. I will obviously link it down in the description below. It will be an Amazon affiliate link, but it won't cost you anything more to purchase that way. So again, we can see another page where there's not a huge amount of colour, but it would still take quite a while. And obviously you could do a bit of something for the background. Like I say, it is quite thick paper. So I don't know how well it will take kind of watercolour or Inktense or something, but I would imagine it might be okay. So again, we've got Loch Ness Monster appearing in there. Got the Yeti again, Ghouliana and Otto. So like I said, I think this book, although it is big, there is a lot to colour. I think once I've got some colour combinations down, I think this will be a good one. That if I fancy doing some pencil colouring, but I'm not too sure what I fancy colouring, and just pick this book up and do 5 or 10 minutes, get a little bit more done on a character on a page. Or if I come up with a nice combination for some wood, I could just, chip away at that. So I'm thinking I will keep these pencils out, because then again, that's just going to make it that bit easier, that bit quicker to colour, certain characters, certain elements, rather than having to, root them out of my pencil case that I keep all of my Prismacolors in. Be a little bit more straightforward. So you can see that we're still going. There's still so much in this. We're still going. There's still more. So again, this character's been on a few of the previous pages. It's really big on that page. Stuck together. No, see, it's that thick. I thought those pages were stuck together, and they're not. Like, it's absolutely loads of pages, really, really nice, thick. Like I say, if you're interested in the actual story, if you check out Claire's channel, her video, this is actually quite a sweet ending to it. Very cute. And obviously we've got the writing there for saying the end. And then there is a Create Your Own Monster bit, which I mean I won't be doing. And then there is that page there. And then there is some palettes, kind of page where you could record your palette. I probably won't, because I don't think there's much space for me to write down kind of what it is that I'm using. But that does kind of mean that I could, if I do want to use Inktense or watercolours, I could use this page, because then on the reverse it's just got the page kind of advertising all of the other Beauty of Horror books. And I think this is where you realise just how many there is. I've only recently got a few of them. Obviously I've got this one. I think I got the Monster Pieces number 6 and the Haunted Holidays ones. Those are the only ones I've got. I don't think at the minute I'm going to rush to get all of the others, because there's so many and they're such big books that, you know, I want to be able to colour a little bit more. Just need to sort the sleeve out. Sorry, it's slid up. There we go. But yeah, you can see just how thick it is. It's a really nice big chunky book. The kind of size comparison, if we compare it to Johanna Basford's Worlds of Flowers, it is more or less the same size. It's like maybe a couple of millimeters smaller, but pretty much the same size. So it is a really nice big book. So like I said, I have already picked out my colour combinations for Agatha using the little description that was there. So I've got the colour combinations all written there. Like I said, I've gone for Prismacolors at the minute. It might be that some of the other elements I decide to colour with, you know, my Castle Arts, or, you know, Harmonious pencils, or I don't know what, Black Widows. Kind of depends what colours I'm after. But I kind of thought, flicking through the book and knowing that, like, especially your hair is such a big area to colour. And obviously there was that page further through where we've got such a huge area to colour that is just hair. I thought Prismacolors are probably going to be my best option, just with them being able to kind of blend together, smush together that much easier, and just be a bit easier on those large areas. So let me just pause the video and bring it in a little bit closer so you can see a bit better. Right, there we go. Got you in a little bit closer. That's a bit more central. That's probably better. So I'm thinking I might start with the skin first. Knowing that the hair is going to be a dark colour, I'm just thinking if I do the skin afterwards, if I go too close to the hair, I might accidentally pull some of the colour from the hair into the colour for the skin, and I don't really want to do that. So the colours I had picked out for the skin, I'm hoping will look nice. I'm not too confident at doing kind of skin at portraits, although the fact that she is kind of got a magic illusion, and actually she is a shriveled old 18th century witch according to the description. I'm hoping if the skin looks a little bit odd, that would explain why. So I've kind of gone for the cream 914, the light peach 927, and then the peach 939. And I had to go blending them together. They did blend together quite nicely. Obviously that one is quite a dark colour, so I'm going to use that just more for like a little bit of blush and kind of the bits where there might be a bit more shadow kind of under a chin and things. So I'm going to put the darker bits in first. Like I say, I do not have a lot of practice at doing portraits, so me showing you this is just me showing you how I do it as somebody who is not confident at portraits at all. I kind of avoid doing them, to be honest, because I'm never sure what to do, or when I do a page that's got a person on, say like an Hannah Carlson page, I try and choose one where there's not too much skin, where maybe there's a lot of hair but not too much skin. I don't know, I just feel like with skin there's just a big chance if you're just making them look a little bit ill, you don't quite get the colours right. So I'm just going to go in all the bits where I think it should be a bit darker, but just lightly, because I can go in after and do another layer. So go in there. So it looks like she's got quite chiseled features, so we'll add a bit on here and again on this bit where there's lines. Kind of did debate whether I wanted to take out some of the line work, but I'm thinking I'm going to leave it in, because I think for the style of the illustrations, I think it'll look better with it in rather than not. Now, I couldn't quite decide what to do for her lips, so I've kind of not come up with any colours for them at the minute, because I'm kind of wondering whether to give her a nice glamorous kind of lipstick colour, maybe with like a gel pen or something. I could use maybe a Secura glaze, so I thought that might look pretty. It's kind of from her description, you know, with the scarlet barb and striking appearance. I did wonder whether kind of a lip glossy lipstick kind of finish might work nicely. So I'll leave that there for that darkest colour. Go to my mid colour now of the light peach. So I'm going to go back over the bit that I've done. This is a good thing about Prismacolors. They are very forgiving if you're not if you're not confident at kind of blending. Just get a brush to get those bits off. If you're not overly confident at kind of blending different colours together, because the Prismacolors are so soft and smushy, a very technical term, they are just so forgiving. Like, I didn't get them for ages because obviously they are quite expensive, and then I dropped on an Amazon warehouse deal, so I got them for like a really good price. I think it was like £85 or something for like the full 150 set. And I couldn't believe it. I like grabbed it straight away. And once I got them, I was like, oh my gosh, I can see why so many people love them. I can also see why people don't, because if if you're used to working with a harder pencil, then I can see why these, really wouldn't suit you, because they are so soft. But for me, I love them. I do like, say, my Castle Art pencils that are quite a bit softer as well. I'm just going to come in and add a bit more of this darker colour on her nose, because I feel like it should have a bit on here, else it's going to look a bit washed out. And again, get my little makeup brush to get the dust off. So I'm going to come in with the cream. So I'm going to go lightly with this because I don't want the skin looking kind of too yellow. But I thought this colour might work nicely for the highlight colour, because obviously it is like a magic illusion, her being so young and glamorous looking. I thought it might kind of suit her skin tone. So I'm going to go in and use this as a bit of a highlight now. But I can still see that there is quite a bit of tooth of the paper showing. So I'm going to go back in and do a bit more with this dark one. I think the hardest bit colouring on her is going to be her skin. I'm a lot more confident at doing the hair. I'm not actually going to be worried about making the hair look like realistic hair, but I'm quite happy with the colours I've got picked out. It is more the skin I'm a bit more concerned at. So I'm going in with the light peach now, which was the mid colour that I'd chosen for this blend. And now I'm just going to start literally smushing it all together and trying to burnish the page. Like I said, this is probably not the proper way to do a portrait, but this is how I'm going to go with doing Agatha's skin, and I'm hoping it will give quite a nice finish. I'm quite happy with it so far. I don't think she's turned out too pink. That was my concern. I don't think she looks too pink, but she also doesn't look too pale. So I'm just going to smooth it out a bit in places, because again I can still see a bit of tooth of the paper. So I just want to try and get rid of that. And yeah, I'm going to call her skin done, or at least done for now. I think I might give her a little bit of eyeshadow perhaps as well. So let's go in and do her hair next. So for her hair, I'd picked out these 4 colours because I thought, knowing that there's quite a big area to do, I thought it'd be quite useful to have, you know, more colours. And then for her eyebrows, I was just going to go for the darkest colour. Perhaps if there's a page where her eyebrows are like, I don't know, if it's really close in and her eyebrows look huge, maybe I might use a couple of the colours. But I'm thinking that just that Tuscan red will work quite well. So let me just get them into order. So it's Tuscan red is my darkest one, then raspberry, then magenta, and then pink. So I'm going to go in with, just move my book out of the way, I'm going to go in with the Tuscan red. So I'm going to go in, thinking I'm going to give her a light band kind of in the middle, so that pink colour kind of in the middle. So I'm going to use this dark colour and go a little way down. Then I'm going to go from the bottom up. Like I said, I'm not colouring this like realistic hair. That's not my style. I think, you know, I can see pages that people have done. I think, wow, that looks amazing. But then I've also watched videos on how to do it, and they just, I don't know, I'd much rather just get it done. It sounds like lazy or being, you know, rushing it, but I think we've all got things that we really like colouring and things we're not quite so keen on. And yeah, hair and skin's not my favourite, but I am definitely getting a bit braver at doing it lately. So I'm going to do all of this bit under here just with the Tuscan red, with the darkest colour from this hair combo, because obviously with being underneath her chin, it's not going to get a lot of light on it. So there we go. I'm just going to be careful going close to her skin. There we go. I'll probably do for that colour. So I'm going to switch to the raspberry next. So I'll just go back over what I've already done and then bring it down a bit. And down here I'll go back over that way and then bring it up a bit. Same with prismacolors, like they're just so soft and smushy. I've got such big area done in such a quick time, and it's not really hurting my hands too much. I mean, don't get me wrong, if you were to sit and do like the whole page, like it would start hurting your hand, wouldn't it? Because it is a lot to do. But right, I'm going to swap to the magenta now, and again, just go back over and bring it down, and then again here. So I don't want to leave a massive bit for this light pink, but I did want to have a bit of a high, you know, a bit of like a shiny patch kind of in the middle, just for a bit of interest. So I'm actually going to not leave any white in the middle, and then I'll just go in over with the pink so that it's not too pink, because I know I've done that before, and you know, and this works quite nicely on this. So it's not super pink, but it's still giving that lighter bit compared to that dark bit. So I think that's enough of that light pink in that section. So I'm going to go back to the magenta and start to finish off this bit. And again, I'll smooth it out here. So again, just make sure that all of the teeth of the paper's gone. So I think I need to come in a little bit more down here. But yeah, that's that bit done. So I'm kind of quite happy with how that's looking. So let's do her eyebrows next. So I was going to use the Tuscan red for that. So that they're kind of dark and should hopefully stand out nicely against her light skin. And just carefully on that bit with the fine point. But yeah, that's that bit done. So I'm going to do this big section of hair now. And then I have got a colour picked out for her eyes. And we'll see then what I'm going to do for the rest of the hair. The rest of kind of the features. It might be I go away and have a think and you kind of see it in my completed pages. Obviously it won't be a completed page, but I'm kind of thinking that, you know, I'll share any progress I've done each month. So yeah, let me know in the comments down below if you'd be interested in seeing me colour some of the other characters, kind of when I get to that bit. So make sure I'm lightening up with this. Again, I'll go from the bottom up. So here we go. But I thought, yeah, if I use prismacolors, it's going to be a nice way of getting nice bold colours pretty quickly without it hurting my hands too much. I just wonder about using Inktense, which I probably will on some elements. But I thought for like skin and hair, I'd probably be getting a better finish if I used pencil. So I thought I could use it to kind of base and go over the top. I thought I may as well just use pencil, I think, for the colours I'd kind of pictured. I figured that was going to work better. So I'm going to go back to the raspberry now. So again, go back over. So I'm just going in and pressing quite hard and then lightening up as I want to add the lighter bits. And just kind of soften this in a minute. It's obviously looking a bit harsh, so I'll just soften that blend up. Yeah, it's quite interesting though, like in the past, never would have thought that I would have wanted to own an Alan Roberts book, but then while I was on holiday this summer, I actually saw some of the books in a bookshop, like picked them up, held them to look at them, and I thought, wow, like it just looks really cool. And I think because I've been watching quite a few of Happy Catastrophes video, again I'll link it down in the description below, and she does such cool kind of horror gory sorts of pages, and she just makes it look really fun. So I thought, actually, yeah, when I saw the books on holiday, I thought, yeah, you know, I say I picked up a couple, the Haunted Holidays one and the Monster Pieces one, and I thought, wow, you know, they look great. And then, yeah, I thought I was going to buy this one and put it on my wish list, but obviously with winning it, just absolutely amazing. So I do definitely want to make sure that I'm working in it, so that I'm showing it the love that it definitely needs. Now there is like a bit I don't know, like a sticker outline or something on her, which I'm not sure yet whether I'll leave it white or whether I'll paint that black or a different colour, or I don't know. And that's a good thing with this book. If I'm going to treat it as like a whole book whip, then I can just leave bits and pieces, come back to it later when I've kind of been able to have a bit of a think about it and decide a bit better what I want to, what I want to do with the page. So bring that up a bit. Right, I'm going to do a bit of this pink on here. So I quite like this colour actually for a hair. I think for Scarlet, what was it? The description, Scarlet Bob. I think it's looking quite nice. Let's not use too many colours, so at least when I come to do it again, hopefully it'll be easy enough to replicate. Let's say I figure if I keep the pencils in a pot or pencil case or something near my desk, then it'll be a lot easier if I've got just a bit of time and I don't know, say I'm waiting for another page to dry, or I'm just not quite sure what to work on. I could think, right, I'm going to go through, even if I just went through and just coloured her hair on some of the pages, even if I didn't do the skin, I can just slowly chip away at it. And eventually pages can come together. So I'm going to go back to the raspberry now for down here. So it's already quite smooth actually up the top. It's just this bottom bit. So back to the Tuscan red, just to make sure this is completely covering the paper down here. I think just get rid of the only problem with Prismacolors is they do get a bit of, not loads of dust, but you've got to be very careful with the dust that you don't just sweep it with your hands, else it just goes everywhere, doesn't it? Right, smooth that out. So I might tinker with that a little bit more off camera, but I think that gives you definitely a good idea of the colours, the hair and the skin. For the eyes, because it said piercing blue eyes, I've kind of gone for a blue slate colour. I did wonder about using like a gel pen or something. And I thought actually it might be better to colour the eyes in pencil. But I am going to use a black gel pen for the centre of the eyes, for the black part. So just do that bit. Right, I'm thinking I want to add a little bit of eyeshadow, and to avoid bringing any other colour in, thinking I'm going to go and just use a little bit of the pink, just so it's a little bit of a subtle kind of eyeshadow, because I did wonder about adding like dark eyeliner, and I thought it might just look a bit, like if I don't get it quite right, it's going to look a little bit odd, isn't it? So I'll bring the eyeshadow up a little bit. So it's just going to look like she's got a pink eyelid, isn't it? And I'll blend it a tad with the cream just to smooth that bit. I think that's looking quite nice. So let me get black gel pen. This one I really quite like it. It's just a cheap one from the works, but it is nice and dark and it is a bit glittery as well. So it does give a nice bit of a subtle shine. Colour that bit. Probably will add a bit of white in on the centres as well. What I'll do that later once everything's dried, so I'm not accidentally smudging anything. So just need to try and work out what I'm going to do for her lips. So I'm thinking I might use a Secure It jelly roll so that it is like one of the glaze ones, so that it is nice and shiny. So I'm thinking, I'd say the real red, but I think that might be a bit too red. I might go for the rose so that it's a bit more subtle. So let me see if I can find that. So I've got them all bundled up. So let's see if I can find it, and let's see if it's going to cooperate and actually work. Because I know sometimes they don't always want to work. Let's have a look. It's on my list that I've got it. But can I find it is the question. If not, I could use the red rather than the real red, because I have got a few of the red ones. That's not right. Is this the right colour? Let me just check this colour. Can't read my writing. Yes, no, I think that's the one. It's smudged off my swatch book, so I'm just going to rewrite it in. Obviously, accidentally smudged the. No. Do you know what? Actually, this one I think is the real red, which I thought was going to be a bit too red. But actually, swatching it there, I think we're going to go for this. So I'm going to go for the real red in the Sakura. Hoping it's not going to look too red once it's all dry. Wow, I think that looks quite nice, doesn't it? It gives a nice bit of glamorous lipstick. So let me get that written down so that I don't forget. So lipstick is the glaze pen. And again, I'll keep that with the pencils so that I've got it all together. So that then when I want to colour on the other pages, I've got it all together. Like I say, I'll probably go away and neaten up some of the bits, because I can see there's still a bit up there that probably needs smoothing a little bit more to get rid of the texture of the paper. But that's definitely the colours that I'm going to go for. So at some point I will sort out getting those colours uploaded onto my Ko-fi. They will be free to download. I've got a few different colour combinations for different things on there. Some from like some of the Japanese colouring books. Some are cute and cozy kind of colouring combinations for the characters. So yeah, I'll get that added on at some point. But yeah, let me know down in the comments if you'd be interested seeing me colour, any of the other characters and sharing their combinations, and actually showing you it being coloured. But I'm really quite pleased actually of how that's turned out, and it's really nice to actually have something coloured in this. So big thank you once again to Colour with Claire for doing the giveaway for this, because it just means so much. It's such a wonderful book, and the fact it's signed and that it's from somebody that I've watched on YouTube for like years and years, it does mean an awful lot. So thank you so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Obviously, like and subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next one.